Warning: the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Which ended in June 2017, was a mistrial.
Yes.
Right.
It was a hung jury, yes.
So then a retrial was set.
Yes.
You to represent him in the retrial.
Yes. In the first trial, the judge let one other woman testify against Bill Cosby, one other woman in addition to the alleged victim. When I showed up, he allowed 5 women to testify along with the alleged victim. It was clearly an effort to make sure there was a conviction by the trial judge. It was clearly an effort to make sure there was a conviction by the trial judge. It was clearly an effort to make sure there was a conviction by the trial judge.
Before this case, Michael Jackson was accused of child sexual abuse in 1993. He ended up settling with the family out of court, right?
Yes.
And the prosecutors ended up dropping the criminal investigation after the accuser stopped cooperating. Did you and Michael talk about that case?
Michael Jackson told me in no uncertain terms that settling that case in 1994 was the biggest mistake he'd ever made. He should never have settled it. He should have fought it through a trial. He would have won. It was an absurd case. But he was advised, he told me, by lawyers, by business advisors, to settle it and get rid of it, that he had bigger fish to fry, bigger projects to get involved in, that the money would be a drop in the bucket compared to what he was capable of making around the world, and that diverting everybody's attention because of the publicity attached to this civil case was a mistake. He followed his advisors', suggestions. He paid money. And what it really did was it opened Pandora's box, because suddenly everybody on the planet began suing him, thinking they could make an easy buck suing Michael Jackson. I mean, employees were suing him. People he met on the street were suing him. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he told me that was the biggest mistake he ever made, was not fighting that till the end.
How much did he settle for in that case?
Well, allegedly, it was around $20 million.
Wow.
There are differing opinions as to how much it was. I was not involved in that case, and I was not involved in that settlement. I had to deal with it because, to my shock, the trial judge in the criminal case that I defended allowed evidence that he had settled cases to come into the trial. I had never seen that before. I thought it was highly prejudicial, but the judge let it in, so I had to deal with the fact that the jury knew he had settled 2 other cases. The judge didn't let the dollar amounts come into the courtroom, but people knew what they were. I had to deal with that, and basically, as I said a second ago, I told the jury that he was advised to do this, that he would make far more money than this. He was the world's greatest singer, choreographer, the greatest artist, the greatest dancer, that he should get rid of this case, that the money was a drop in the bucket, and he unfortunately followed that advice.
Okay. So then there was a documentary that came out in 2003 called Living with Michael Jackson. And in that documentary, they showed him holding hands with a young boy named Gavin Arvizo. And he also talked about how he would have kids sleeping, in this large bed of his. And that actually triggered his 2005 case.
That's correct. There was a documentary that was made by someone named Martin Bashir. Unfortunately, he convinced Michael that he would be a very fair documentary filmmaker, that according to Michael, because I wasn't involved in this, Michael said the man told him that he would he would treat him very fairly. He would show what a wonderful artist and father he was. And Michael was expecting this documentary to be very positive. It turned out to be exactly the opposite. But Michael did something very smart. He wouldn't conduct any interview with this producer without having his own videographer present. So we had the parts that were included in the documentary, and we had the outtakes that were not included in the documentary. And there was a tremendous difference between what this producer portrayed Michael as in the documentary and what he was saying to him in the outtakes he did not include. So what happened in the trial was the prosecutors wanted permission from the court, the judge, to use this documentary and show it to the jury. And I acted like I didn't want them to. I actually did, because first of all, a lot of that documentary I thought would be very appealing to a jury. You show a very young Michael Jackson performing as a child. You show him grow and develop. You show his enormous talent. He sings, the music just takes over, the atmosphere. So the press fixated on a couple of quotes they thought were very damaging to Michael Jackson. I focused on the other parts, which I thought were very favorable to him, and I wanted the judge to let us use the outtakes that weren't included, where the producer, Mr. Bashir, told him he was a great father, he was learning wonderful things from him. I mean, the outtakes were very different from the spirit of the documentary as far as I'm concerned. So both came in. The documentary came in the prosecution's case. The outtakes came in our case. And the rest is history. He was acquitted of every count.
3 men charged in plots to bribe, threaten alleged victims. One man allegedly discussed paying a victim $500,000 to keep her from cooperating with the feds, saying she got too much. Another harassed a woman who filed a lawsuit against Kelly, the feds say.
What's up? This is your girl, Texas Black Diamond. Thank you for tuning in to the channel, Texas Black Diamond ENT. And like I told y'all, we was going to be doing some recaps. Because I told y'all Robert has nothing to do, anything, nothing to do with those alleged attempts to try to put this RICO together. And I want y'all to listen to what is said here, okay? So we're going to do a recap. I was just happened to be all up in the bushes and came out the bushes. I was watching a live, and Ashanti McGee, I guess, ex-friend came on, honey, and she was exposing some things. I'm like, look at God, I got to come out on this, honey. I don't care. I have to come out on there. And also, I ain't ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed to say it. I want to give a shout out to Dubowski, because he got up there, and this is all I'm talking about. Get up there and represent. When you get on these big platforms like that, represent, put that information out there, try to get all the info out that you can and make it make sense. So I am going to give him an A+ on that panel today. I ain't hating on nobody. When you go out and do stuff like that, I'm all for you. This what TVZ all about. I don't hate, baby. And thank you for, getting up there representing and breaking it down. And he had his little statement, in the statement, breaking it down well. And I said, look at them. Look at them. I was like, you know what, God, I just have to just keep praying. Just keep my holy oil and holy water all on me and keep praying. But I don't want to talk too long because, this is a recap of a video that I did about 6-7 months ago about these people that they trying to pin on Robert, that I feel like it was 2 of them that was set up. But that old R-Line, baby, that's a sneaky, conniving dude that likes to run around and scheme and scam. But them other 2, Don Russell and that Michael Williams, they was put in the middle of some BS. I don't care what nobody say on that. That's how I feel. It's my opinion. We in United States of America and anywhere else, I will express how I feel. I don't care if I'm overseas, honey. Walking down the parted Red Sea, I'm going to express how I feel. So y'all gonna watch this video, recap on this video, and please like, share, and subscribe at the end of this. Make sure y'all share this good stuff now.
The overtures began in late May, months after a woman who once publicly defended R. Kelly turned on the R&B singer and began to cooperate with federal authorities. In a text message, the woman was allegedly told, "He wants to pay you for silence." Then, in a phone call recorded by law enforcement with the woman's permission, Richard Arlene Jr. allegedly offered the woman $500,000 to stop working with the feds. "You got some shish. I don't know what the F you might got, some videos or some iPads or whatever you might got. Your story," Arlene allegedly said. "They just want that to disappear. You know what I'm saying?"
Hell no, we don't understand what you saying, Richard Arline, because we know that Robert was in holding. We know that Robert didn't communicate with you. We already know Robert was trying to get up the fence fund to try to get bail, trying to get attorneys, and he definitely wasn't trying to pay no Azriel. So that was a lie. You know what? You know what I am saying. So y'all need to quit with this buffale, these lies and these shenanigans, trying to throw all this stuff on Robert, because Robert, he didn't do it when he was out of jail in 2008. Why in the hell would he do it while he's in jail and everything being recorded? They can play that crap about a burner phone in a cell. That is a lie. Robert is not going that route. Robert needed every dime he can get to get out, and he definitely wasn't giving Azriel no $500,000. Okay, he was trying to scrape up and keep them in a nice environment, water, gas, and a roof over their head, and trying to pay for his attorneys at the same time. So he definitely wasn't going to deal with that. Why in the hell would he try to deal with that and trying to bribe somebody when they trying to put bribes on him with these old lying ass other people? Y'all know me. Forgive me, because you know I'm a cuss. I ain't perfect.
Now Arlene, 31, of Dolton has been charged by federal prosecutors in New York with trying to prevent the woman from testifying there against Kelly. Also charged in separate, but similar, schemes are Donald Russell, 45, of Chicago, and Michael Williams, 37, of Georgia. Criminal complaints against all three men, who each have ties to Kelly, were made public Wednesday. The complaint against Arlene said, "It remains unclear whether Kelly or others, implicitly or explicitly authorized Arlene Jr. to negotiate a bribe payment on behalf of Kelly." Still, the new charges are bad news for the singer, who has been locked up in Chicago's Metropolitan Correctional Center for more than a year. Though he is due to go to trial in Chicago and Brooklyn this fall, both cases could be delayed by the coronavirus pandemic. Without question, Robert Kelly had nothing to do with any of these alleged acts by those charged, Steve Greenberg, one of Kelly's lawyers, wrote on Twitter after the charges were unsealed. He hasn't attempted to intimidate anyone, or encouraged anyone else to do so. No involvement whatsoever. Kelly's legal team has been trying to get Kelly out of jail for months, pointing largely to the pandemic. But prosecutors have underscored allegations that Kelly obstructed justice in his 2008 Cook County child pornography trial. This week, prosecutors also said a bank account controlled by Kelly received at least $1.2 million last year in recorded jail calls. Kelly appeared to direct people to contact a nominee to receive payments indirectly from Kelly. Earlier this year, the feds alleged that a prison staff member helped Kelly, 53, make an unrecorded phone call.
I don't know if y'all can recall that situation with, they said an attorney brought some paper information or a letter or something to Robert, and it didn't go through security check, because security check's supposed to read every letter, just supposed to screen everything. And so he ended up getting a letter from some attorney, and I wish I know what attorney that was. I really wish I knew what attorney that was. And so this attorney gave him this letter without giving it to security. Okay, and then, they say he got in trouble because a staff member let him make a unrecorded phone call. So if you can remember that and recall that, that was a little bit before Robert's hearing to try to get bond. But everything seemed to happen at least a week before Robert goes to get for a bond hearing. And so I was like, when that information came out, I'm like, you know what, that's a setup. They are setting Robert up. Like, okay, a staff member, like Robert never been in jail before, sitting in jail like that. A staff member, was probably like, okay, you can use the phone. The phones are tied up. You can use this phone or whatever. If Robert made that phone call, if it happened, you know what I mean? So you can look at it and tell that this has been the biggest plot and scheme and setup, like Tom
said, to just try to get a conviction and try to keep him in holding so they can put pressure on his neck and make it seem like he will never get out. So let's do a plea deal. You see, nothing's working for you. Everything is, we turn down everything. The judge is denying everything for you. So you see, you're not going to win. So they're trying to pressure Robert into a plea here. And thank God he's continuing to fight this case to prove his innocence,
Now, they say Kelly called the woman at issue in the Arlene complaint under such circumstances. Though that woman has not been identified by federal authorities, the facts in the complaint appear to match those surrounding former Kelly girlfriend Ezriel Clary. Prosecutors say the woman began to cooperate with federal authorities January 8, Kelly's birthday, after publicly supporting him in a March 2019 TV interview. If I had a way to talk to Rob, being next to him and telling him what's going on, without nobody listening to, no feds, nobody, he gonna pay her off to be quiet, Arlene allegedly said of the woman in one recorded call with another individual. She got too much. She got too much.
Listening to that part took me back down memory lane. Do y'all remember when Ezriel had the fight with Joy on Robert's birthday, and then she went to the emergency room, and then Shabazz recording her talking to Robert on the phone, and I'm like, how the hell she get Robert on the phone? Because they should have a certain time to make a call. So who set that up? Who in that jail set that up, and who was that employee of MCC working with to get Robert on that phone? Who? That's the question on that. I'm like, damn, I'm like, wow. But anyway, so you have this man talking about $500,000 to keep this woman quiet. Okay, Robert is scraping up money to pay his attorneys. And then plus she already, went on her rampage and smearing Robert campaign, talking to, different outlets about Robert, So why would he do that when she was already running her mouth? Like I said, this is something, a picture that the DA, the government, wants the public to see. That's the type of image, but they don't want nobody to know about the behind the scenes situation. You see what I'm saying here?
Clary also claimed this summer to be the victim of an arson attack that appears to be at issue in the complaint against Williams. He is accused of setting fire on June 11 to an SUV parked outside a Florida home where an alleged Kelly victim was staying. Ahead of the attack, Williams also allegedly made several internet queries, including, where can I buy a .50 custom machine gun, and countries that don't have extradition with the United States, as well as a search for fertilizer and diesel fuel, that led him to visit a website titled, How Do Fertilizer Bombs Work? Russell, a manager and advisor to Kelly, is accused of harassing another woman who filed a lawsuit against Kelly. The feds said he also created a Facebook page called Surviving Lies, a play on the title of the Lifetime documentary series, Surviving R. Kelly, and posted screenshots of text messages and sexually explicit photographs of the woman there.
Another big story in this hour 18. 3 men arrested for going to great lengths to try and silence some of R. Kelly's victims. The feds say witness intimidation was the play.
2 of the men arrested are from the Chicago area. Chris Ty is live at the Dirksen Federal Building, where one of them recently went before a judge. Chris.
Brad, Erica, cars set on fire, threats of violence, 6-figure payouts. Just some of the intimidation tactics that investigators believe allies of R. Kelly used to silence his accusers. Some of it happening in just the last 2 months. Last summer, Dolton, Illinois resident Richard Arline Jr. posted support on Instagram for his friend R. Kelly.
He's a good father and he's a good person. He don't bother nobody. He just go to work and come home.
Today, neighbors floored by his arrest on federal charges related to Kelly. They say he bribed a 17-year-old witness to not testify against the artist. On a wiretap this June, he offered her $500,000 to keep quiet, they say, and to suppress videos she had of the two of them. What's unclear is whether Kelly authorized the bribe. What's unclear is whether Kelly authorized the bribe. What's unclear is whether Kelly authorized the bribe.
One of the surest ways to get the government to pay attention to you is to try to interfere with one of their cases or intimidate one of their witnesses. That is going to bring them down on you like a ton of bricks.
He wasn't alone. The feds say Michael Williams of Georgia texted the father of a trial witness, saying it might be wise to protect your daughter from heartache she's going to endure through this and after. On the same day, an SUV of his exploded in front of that witness's home. And they found internet searches for fertilizer bombs and countries that don't have extradition. A third arrest today, Donnell Russell of Chicago, who in the fall of 2018, they say, sent a letter to a Jane Doe witness threatening to reveal sexually explicit photos if she testified. And in December of the same year, she and her mom received text from a phone number associated with the Russell business saying, "You have been warned, publishing soon, and pull the plug or you'll be exposed."
To those of us on the outside looking in, these are new characters.
Characters in the Kelly case who've taken brazen steps, investigators say, to get the witnesses to keep quiet. And one other point that needs to be made here is that investigators have made it very clear they have a mountain of evidence to prove their point. What they have less of, at least according to these initial documents, Erica, is any indication that R. Kelly or his team sent these people and put them in motion. What they have less of, at least according to these initial documents, Erica, is any indication that R. Kelly or his team sent these people and put them in motion. What they have less of, at least according to these initial documents, Erica, is any indication that R. Kelly or his team sent these people and put them in motion.
So I'll take it here, and this one is not for sensitive ears, but potentially says a lot. The documents also revealed the apparent rules Kelly's team put on the underage girls when they were reportedly having sex with him.
That's right, Brad. They had to wear bracelets to identify that they were part of that group. There were rules. You had to wear baggy clothes when you weren't around him. You couldn't go to the bathroom without his permission. You couldn't eat around R. Kelly. A whole list of rules. Now, all of this, both the allegations of intimidation and the rules that are embedded in that culture.
Wait a minute, and bless these little reporters' heart. They don't know, do they? See, it shows they don't know nothing about backstage passes, VIP, the VIP parties. They have to wear these bracelets to let them know they're with the group. Of course, if you with a celebrity or an artist or whatever it may be, you're gonna have that badge, or you're gonna have that VIP certain kind of little bracelet on your arm to identify that you are to go past beyond the point of just the crowd, regular crowd. So, and see, I had to wear, different type of bracelets to get in like private parties, to backstage passes when we have our shows. Had to have my little deal on, my little badge. For this party here, this house party, it was a special kind of bracelet like that we had on, and so it wasn't like paper. It was like a special kind of bracelet. So that's how they identified us, so we can be able to get into the private house party. So it's just different bracelets that you put on, different things that you put on to identify that person to be in that group or whatever the case may be. Lord bless their little heart and the little baggy clothes. When you on the tour bus, you're not gonna be wearing those sexy dresses and things like that. You're gonna wear loose clothes so you can be comfortable for the road trip. And when you make it there, if you're late, you don't have time to change, you're gonna go in there just like that. From what I hear, sometimes he's running late, so they have to just go and perform. No bathing, no changing clothes, just straight to the venue to do the show, so they won't get sued by the promoter. So when you go VIP, that's what happened.
R. Kelly's attorney today telling CBS 2 they vehemently deny that anything released today was at the direction of R. Kelly or that he had any knowledge of it. We should point out all of it put in motion, by the way. We should point out all of it put in motion, by the way. We should point out all of it put in motion, by the way.
R. Kelly, an associate of the musician, has just pleaded guilty to setting a car on fire.
So the crime happened near Kissimmee, outside the home of the singer's ex-girlfriend. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest broke this story on clickorlando.com. So Mike, is R. Kelly involved in this crime?
Well, there is no indication in court records that the singer had anything to do with the car fire, and R. Kelly is not facing any charges related to the arson. Well, there is no indication in court records that the singer had anything to do with the car fire, and R. Kelly is not facing any charges related to the arson. Well, there is no indication in court records that the singer had anything to do with the car fire, and R. Kelly is not facing any charges related to the arson. But one of the singer's associates, Michael Williams, now admits to being the arsonist.
Once I met Rob at 17, he was the first to take advantage of me. He was the first to prey on me.
Any experience with any guys except for her boyfriend, and she had just started talking to you prior to that. Like, she hadn't been dating him for, no, she has no prior experience with any guys.
She has a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. He's okay. My son, he played basketball. I play basketball with me. I play basketball with all my kids. So all of us run ball, and I met the kid, good kid. So I'm okay with that. As Riel, have a strict schedule, school work, her rehearsal time, then boom, it's your time. So I guess he didn't like that. Whatever reason their relationship went south, he cheated on her. We didn't know about it.
This is her boyfriend.
This is her boyfriend. Blamed her, never having the time, always in her music. Boom, young guys, this is what happens. It's a relationship. I get a phone call that Monday as I'm out at work. My son called me. Hey Dad, you need to come home. I just got a text message. I think Israel trying to do something to herself. What? Every light, I'm on my way home. Me and him almost get home together. I probably get there as he was opening the door, I'm pulling up. I didn't even get in my driveway. I went on the lawn and left my car, ran in the house, the door locked. Kicked the door open, she in the bathroom, submerged in water, took pills. A father has to watch his 17-year-old almost take her life. I grab her, boom, hospital, get everything done, call her mom, hey babe, this was happening, meet me at the hospital. So for that, nobody know this. Why that important part of Lifetime
so y'all told out. Lifetime this?
Yeah, all this was out. See, this is all this is out. So for them not to make us look like we gave our kids away, that's the hurting part. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Lifetime for the platform they gave us to bring this awareness to this point where this is ready to be at an end. But when you leave out very important parts to the world.
I wanted to put this clip in. We'll talk about the suicide with Asriel ex-boyfriend before meeting Robert Sylvester Kelly. We'll talk about that on another video. But I wanted to play this part in this video to show you the manipulation of Lifetime, the prosecutors, and everyone else that's trying to paint the narrative of Robert Sylvester Kelly. And you know, you have Angelo Clary was like, I don't understand why they didn't put this in the documentary of the Lifetime of Lies. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Surviving R. Kelly that was aired on Lifetime, and we call it the Lifetime of Lies because they didn't do their research in on what these people were saying. They didn't try to do listen to their side, then listen to his side, you know, and get the truth that's in the middle. Okay, so they left that part out because they wanted people to think, oh, this girl is this innocent little girl, she's a virgin, you know, she never had experience with anyone, and they want people to think that Robert hurt her. So by putting this out, that she tried to commit suicide with a boyfriend that hurt her feelings and had an affair on her, and and things like that. They felt like that wouldn't look good to the public, the image that they're trying to put out on Robert Sylvester Kelly. So that's the reason why they left that part out. I wanted to put that part in and show you guys how the mainstream media is portraying Robert Sylvester Kelly. So you hear Azriel, saying that Robert took advantage of her. Robert was her first experience, in which he was not her first experience. If it was an experience, she had an experience with a guy before she met Robert that hurt her heart. He had an affair on her. She was on a Twitter rage, talking about him, calling the women, whores, and you didn't want one woman, just different things that she had on her Twitter page, and so that she had deactivated, or the prosecutors had her deactivate that Twitter account, because they want everything to look as if it was Robert's fault. She had issues before she met Robert. Her parents, put her in that situation. They didn't try to give her any help. And I'm not even going to say a situation, because Angelo himself said she was living a lavish life and luxury, and just living a good life. He said to his own self. So now he's upset because Robert's in jail. Robert, you find out that Robert has no money. So, oh wow, all this 4 years, my daughter is coming out with nothing. So I have to spend my hard-earned money to take care of a grown woman that was in a surrounding herself around a celebrity, the king of R&B, that was supposed to have been a billionaire, and she comes out with nothing, not even one song. So that's what I wanted to put on this video, and show you the manipulation of mainstream media and what these people are doing to paint a narrative to the public, on Robert Sylvester Kelly.
Last summer, while Clary was living in this Polk County home, someone lit her family's car on fire and poured an accelerant like gasoline around the house.
We heard a big boom. The car is getting ready to blow up.
Clary posted video of the fire on her Instagram page, along with photos of the burned-out vehicle. Now, less than a year after the crime, Michael Williams has pleaded guilty to arson. Williams happens to be an associate of R. Kelly. He's related to the singer's former publicist. I drove from my house to Kissimmee, Florida, and deliberately set a car on fire in someone's driveway, Williams said in court. Kelly's name was never mentioned during the court hearing. Kelly's name was never mentioned during the court hearing. Kelly's name was never mentioned during the court hearing. Federal investigators used Google to catch the arsonist. Court records show a warrant was issued to Google headquarters seeking users who had conducted a search of the address close in time to the arson. Authorities say they later discovered Michael Williams searched Google for that address 3 times the night of the fire.
Now, as part of the plea agreement, prosecutors dropped a charge of witness tamperings. Williams faces a minimum of 5 years in prison when he's sentenced later this year. Now, R. Kelly, he's scheduled to go on trial for his alleged sex crimes later this summer.
Hello? Are you at this location now? Yes, that's where I'm at. Okay. Is the vehicle inside a building? No, the vehicle is in front of my house, but it's close to one of my other cars that I can't move, and in my garage. Okay, what type of vehicle is on fire? It's a black Mitsubishi, and it's actually a rental car. And this is fucking the crazy part. It's actually a rental car. And this is fucking the crazy part. It's actually a rental car. And this is fucking the crazy part. Okay, is the fire threatening anything?
Okay, I know you guys remember when I did like at least 3 separate videos about Cash Jones and Angelo's beef. For those who new to this, and for those who does not remember, who've forgotten about the situation, do you recall Cash Jones going on the blogger's page, Toxic Diamond? Toxic Diamond did an interview with her, and you can hear Cash Jones speaking and saying that she was in love with Angelo, and Angelo, you know, called her and said he'll come and lay between the legs, and you know, and things like that. And she played a little clip of what, you know, Angelo said. So then we have Angelo clapping back, and so we already knew that Angelo was getting at her to keep her quiet. So he gets on his IG live and he just go off on her, call her stupid, says she's not a good mother. On one IG he said that he used her, you know, and different things like that, and you know, telling everybody that you know, Cash Jones told him that her cousin raped her, you know, she lied on her cousin, you know, and things like that. And so he said he was gonna expose her, he was gonna, you know, put everything out there. So I felt like, you know, she didn't do the recording because he threatened her, you know, to put some information out on her, you know. But the recording speak for itself. Everybody knows Angelo's voice. I don't think nobody speak the way he speaks, so you know, I haven't heard it. So we all know Angelo's voice. It wasn't no one pretending to be Angelo, you know. Also, you know, he said that he used Cash Jones, you know, he used her to do what he needed her to do, and that he, you know, he played her. He said he played her. That's gonna be a whole different video, you know, but I wanted to play a few clips of what they had to say, Cash Jones and Angelo. And so with this here, I said it's a Cash Jones beef and a Angelo Clary's beef. Angelo Clary beef, Cash Jones beef, and I said it's either the two. It's either, you know, Cash Jones is so in love with Angelo that she used her cousin to do this setup, you know, with the fire, to try to get, you know, win brownie points with him and use her cousin in the process. Or she was upset with Angelo because Angelo was, you know, talking bad about her, and you know, and she probably, you know, talked to the cousin and got the cousin to do some things. And you know, listening to him speak on his video hearing, he has some kind of, you know, mental problems and stuff. So I'm like, did she take advantage of her cousin that has these mental problems? And you know, and like they said, Robert's name was not brought up in this. Like, Robert is not even involved with Cash Jones like that to even be having her, you know, do anything like that, because she wishy-washy. She's all over the place. She's with this person, she's with that person. And little did she know, Robert knew all about her because, you know, information was given to him about her, you know. So a lot of information was given to him about a lot of people, and you know, and things like that. But you know, we'll talk about that in the next clip. But I'll let you listen to Angelo Clary, and I'll let you listen to Cash Jones. And like I said, this is, you know, many times before, this is Angelo Clary and Cash Jones beef.
I've been going through audios that I have because everybody and their mama just keeps sending me this clip of Angelo talking about rejecting me. And it irritates the fuck out of me because I know that's not true. I was searching, trying to find something, and then I found what I feel like is the perfect audio. It is an audio where he's actually bashing the fuck out of his wife. And I was like, well, Angelo, you know, maybe it's just what y'all are going through right now. And he's like, nah, I've been feeling like this. And blah, 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 you know, just talking his shit.
Then y'all following a dumbass website that was created by Don Russell and Cash motherfucking devious fucking lunatic ass Jones. That's who the fuck y'all following. So keep following it. But I guarantee you this, the ones you follow won't be in them cuffs. It won't be me. See, I ain't had to go down there and get questioned. They ain't had me cross no motherfucking board with no people. But you better talk to Dawn, and you better listen to that motherfucking Cash not telling y'all the truth. Yeah, because she burnt your king up and motherfucking Dawn. Tell y'all about that. I got the text messages coming when she just finished texting me, telling me how she just finished her 8 hours with these people, telling them everything. See, I don't have to lie. My shit gonna be stuck with truth and facts. And I damn sure wouldn't lie and just like you could ask fucking Block. The first thing I tell him, listen, bro, I ain't touched that motherfucking girl when I got off the phone. He said, man, what the fuck you got on her? I said, man, I ain't never, what I did to her. I said, man, I ain't never touched that woman a day in her motherfucking life. I seen her one time. Ask him to tell y'all the truth. See, that's real men conversation. It ain't fake men conversation. That's real, the 100% truth. I don't play no game. I don't have no reason to lie to nobody about nobody. That makes no sense to me. It's crazy to me. Got young ass women that should be finding a man out here running around lying on a relationship that she never had. Now she know more about me than anybody in the world. Get the fuck out of here. Man, if anybody know me, man, everybody can tell you that I don't do nothing, but I talk around everything. And me to talk about my fucking wife to them, get the fuck out of here. To her? For what? Man, y'all gotta make shit make sense. This girl too busy trying to tell you her life story. And if anybody met her, and anybody talked to her, they'll tell you a whole lot of motherfucking truth about her. And anything I say, I guarantee you they're gonna repeat it because she say the same shit over and over. Check out our area codes. Anybody know her, Dana? Dana got her phone numbers. Look at her phone numbers. Tell me her phone numbers don't match every dude that she stalked. Nigga Stacks, New York. She got a New York phone number. She stalking me. She do a 407 number. She stalking motherfucking Block. That was the Valentine's Day. Block. She got his motherfucking 202. Pay attention to this shit. Pay attention to it. Every time when R. Kelly was home, she had a 773. If y'all think I'm lying, do y'all homework. Y'all talk to everybody. Oh, ask Dawn. Dawn got every one of her motherfucking numbers. Ask him, is that a coincidence? Or ask him, tell him, pay attention. See, I pay attention to everything. This girl's a fucking professional stalker, man. Fucking professional stalker. Running around this motherfucker lying and all this shit.
On the queens and stuff, but he was really calling bitches hoes and everything. And then I was actually feeling bad for him because he was saying like, oh, he's just suppressing the pain and he just go. Like he don't actually, I guess, just deal with the fact that it's over between them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, now you're making me feel bad. I was like, I feel like I need to be Dr. Cash. Like, I was like, you want to come lay on my couch? Now I'm talking about talking because I was like, you need to get that out. Like, you can't just hold stuff in all the time and just act like you don't exist. He automatically jumped into making sexual advances. I want to come lay on my couch. He like, yeah. So I say, so I can give you a session or whatever. He say, I want to lay between your legs so we can have a heart to heart. I just started laughing and I was like, okay. I was like, I'm trying to be sentimental and I'm talking about feelings and you're talking about whatever. And he was like, basically saying he needed a release and all of this stuff. It's crazy. But the best part of the audio to me is when he said, no, because I said, oh my God, now you got me over here thinking because I'm a visual person. So now I'm visualizing the stuff that you're saying.
One thing about it, I ain't got it. Elder have it on here. He'll show the snippet. You ain't got to worry about that. The snippet will be shown today. And El be following up with this. So y'all ain't got to worry about that. And all that shit, let me explain. After I finish this with them, and I'm going to say this, anything else I have to address about this crazy ass woman that believe in her head we had a relationship.
He said, well, picture you in my arms while I'm standing up, gripping them ass cheeks with both of your legs over my shoulders while I'm digging in your stomach. And I want to say I wasn't even talking to the guy for a full 60 seconds before Angelo starts texting me, threatening me. Okay? He's like, oh, so you want to go on a nigga channel that only got 1,000 subscribers or whatever, and you want to talk shit? First of all, I was not talking shit. I mean, the problem is, anytime I go to any platform, at this point, they're going to ask me about Angelo Clary because of what's already been said. You getting upset because somebody asked me about you, and I wasn't even going to dog Angelo. That was not my intention. But when he started threatening me, talking about, oh, he's going to go on Tasha K, oh, he's going to do, like, for what? You always threatening somebody, blackmailing somebody.
To be in. You wanted to be in it, so I hope you sell your books, and I hope you do this, because you're going to need a lot of more lawyer money. And that defamation of character, you'll get that too. I ain't never seen a motherfucker fabricated talking about they somebody motherfucker in a relationship with somebody, and a motherfucker ain't never titled their ass with nothing. Ain't never even told them you my girl, nothing. What the fuck is wrong with you? It was an information thing in a war that I was determined to get my child from.
Well, he was already mad at me because he claims that somebody told him, or he got his hands on something that basically, because he claims that he got some type of audio, and he said that I was trying, well, basically I told Rob the stuff that he was saying when he sent, what's the fake crisis manager's name? Daryl Johnson. He was like, oh, you know, you told him about Daryl Johnson, you told him about Mason, because, you know, he did have people infiltrate the camp. He was dealing with people around, and like I said, I've never seen Rob do shit.
Hello? Listen. Okay, listen. You know that I talked to Angelo now. You gotta get rid of Mason, and you have to get rid of this publicist, because they are working with Avenatti. This was a whole, like, this Gail King thing. They knew about this from, like, weeks ago. Like, they've been planning this. I know you don't probably want to listen to me, but please, if you cannot let him do this interview on Monday. Like, all this stuff is a plan to just, like, rip you apart and make shit worse.
Cannot let who do an interview?
This Daryl Johnson guy. The guy who's supposed to be, like, the publicist or whatever.
Rip me apart how?
Get you away?
Rip me apart how?
Like, it's just all things. Like, I don't know.
No. Just be specific. Be specific. Rip me apart how?
I don't know the how.
Okay, I want you to find out. I want you to find out how and let me know.
Okay.
Let me know.
He was saying that when he was sending people in to infiltrate Rob's camp, he was saying that when he was sending people in to infiltrate Rob's camp, he was saying that when he was sending people in to infiltrate Rob's camp, that I told him the things that he was telling me. So he was already mad at me from, like, days before that. He just kind of went off the handle saying that I told Rob everything that he told me, because he knows that his hands are dirty. He's done a lot of foul shit that he shouldn't have been doing. And I think at this point, with authorities being involved in all of this stuff, he just wants to keep everything quiet that he's done. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if he'll get into it. I don't know what the deal is, but I know it's not right.
All you did was get rich out these war crimes. It's a conspiracy. Who's the terrorist? The U.S. government must be the terrorist.